Greetings, friends. It should be illegal to fly a foreign flag for political purposes in a host country. What do I mean? In America, you shouldn't be able to fly the Palestinian flag, the Israeli flag, any other flag as part of a demonstration. Now, if you want to do it in your own house, that's distasteful. It should be discouraged. I don't think it would be a good strategy to make that illegal, but the culture does need to get more forceful. We need to awaken from liberal paralysis to set down any rules or borders that shall not be crossed. And with all this chatter about the Palestinian march in Britain coming up, where apparently they may disrespect British war memorials and statues and this kind of thing. And of course, the pro-Israel crowd is big on this story. But of course, I would agree that you shouldn't be allowed to fly a foreign flag and demonstrate politically in a foreign nation. And you shouldn't really be able to assemble politically on behalf of a foreign nation outside of your own country. Because why would you, unless you are in an invasion? If you're consciously in an invading force, then we can respect that honestly. Okay, then you're an invader. But if you are trying to be there in good faith, then you would obviously not fly your flag when you are in a foreign land. It's even in poor taste. In Toronto, I see all these other flags in people's windows, and sometimes people put their flag next to the Canadian flag to say like, oh, you see Canada and Portugal. You see this a lot for the Portuguese flag. Canada and the Canadian flag, the Portuguese flag next to one another. No, it doesn't work. It's stupid. Make up your mind. Are you going to be Portuguese or are you going to be Canadian? Just make up your mind. You don't need to be flying your flag. How does that help bring our society together to give us more symbols to look at and more complexity and more history that wasn't our own in founding this land? Can't we just be Canadians? And yes, the Canadian flag is tacky. It's a stupid flag. But I'm just saying, in principle, the idea of having the nation with one flag, that's an important idea, regardless of how stupid that flag ended up being, unfortunately. But that's the idea. So it is an extreme idea now, but I think historically speaking, this is fairly common for good reason. It goes without saying, why would you want to piss off or disrespect some host society that you have come to, that has welcomed you in, and now you're trying to contribute to that society? How? By separating from it, by declaring your political purpose in a foreign land should be something that we should care about, that we have to do something about it. We don't have to do anything about it. We don't have to do anything for the Palestinians. We don't have to do anything for the Israelis. We don't have to do anything for the Ukrainians. We don't have to do anything for any of these other far-off peoples. We have to take our own side for our own peoples and stop getting distracted by all of these foreign adventures that are not in our best interests. The symbol of a nation is an important thing. If you allow different groups to organize politically within your borders, I'm not saying that they can't have cultural groups and clubs. We shouldn't have mass immigration anyways, but the reality is we do, so it's natural that some of them are going to organize. But when you start allowing them to explicitly politically organize and protest and mobilize, raise money, do their propaganda, whatever it is, affecting the general culture and putting their message out there, when you allow that line to be crossed, now you have weakened the integrity of your nation. You've disrespected the dignity of your nation. The people who fought to establish our Western nations did not fight so that these nations could host political causes for non-European peoples, non-Christian peoples. If anything, the West was founded by white Christian peoples, And yes, we had our differences, and that is a problem. The West has always had that problem religiously. But we did have that foundation, loosely speaking. And to allow foreign interests explicitly into your land is the mark of a conquered people. So if people are saying that this march of the Palestinians in England is going to wake up the British public because now they're going to see what's happened, why would this wake them up after all these years? Just like I would say this for any Western country, after 30 or 40 years of mass immigration and the humiliation of that, why would you wake up now if Saracens are disrespecting cenotaphs and memorials to the Great War? Why now? It's not like, hasn't BLM already done plenty of that stuff? Hasn't Antifa done things? They just melted down a Robert E. Lee statue in the United States, a symbol of dignity and honor in the American past, that even I think the North and the South could have both respected that man. But they just destroyed that. So, but now there's this thing in England that's going to, no, how's that going to wake up someone who's already broken spiritually? And having gone through the so-called pandemic, we saw how whites and Christians and Westerners submitted to the humiliation of forced house arrest by our governments indefinitely, and the humiliation of wearing face rags in public, and of forced injection of an experimental substance with extremely mixed results, to put it the most favorably, to put it negatively, with criminal results. To be subjected to all of this is to have the spirit of the people broken. Now, I'm not black-pilled. I don't think that the spirit of a people cannot be rekindled. But why would you think, after going through that breaking of a people's spirit, that now when they see foreign hordes marching through their lands with foreign flags, that it's going to wake them up? Maybe a few people, yeah, maybe a few people might wake up. But not many. Hasta luego, amigos!